It's war! The Prince of Wales, Prince William, has launched a barbed and pointed attack on his spoiled and traitorous younger brother, Harry. Now, this will enrage Harry, who knows that he's always going to play second fiddle to William and that he will always be the spare. Now, these latest remarks from the Prince of Wales are classic William. Dry, subtle, but utterly devastating. So, beginning his role as Colonel-in-Chief of the Army Air Corps, a massively significant military role bestowed upon him by his father, King Charles, to prepare him for the throne, William chatted to the soldiers, he served sandwiches, and he watched a top-level military exercise. Now, having the common touch, which is extraordinarily rare for someone born to that kind of privilege, Prince William was wonderfully humorous and candid whilst talking to these soldiers. And these soldiers, by the way, are real, honest, brave, hard-working people, the likes of which you won't find in Montecito, California, where the Sussexes have a $20 million mansion. Now, asking these soldiers about the pace of life when serving their professional duties, one particular soldier told the Prince of Wales, "It's a mixed bag." You see, that's how honest and human and approachable Prince William is, that a soldier can be that candid. Now, the man who's next in line to the throne, Prince William, responded in the most fascinating way. He followed up this remark about life in the military being a mixed bag by saying, this is what William said. He said, "Are your family okay? Do they see you enough?" And after the soldier replied, in a devastating salvo clearly aimed at his traitorous brother Harry, William said, "Some of them might not want to see you that much. It is a mixed bag." That's right. He said some of them, some of your family members, he said, in public, in front of the world's press, he said, some members of your family might not want to see you that much. It is a mixed bag sometimes, isn't it? Yikes! The nuclear button has been pressed. Let's just hear that line again. He said, interesting that. He said, some of them might not want to see you that much. It is a mixed bag, isn't it? Now, this is not an accident because William is a highly intelligent and very strategic guy. This is a man who's in training to become king of the United Kingdom. He's nobody's fool. Unlike Prince Harry, who is as thick as two short planks. He's a couple of apples short of an orchard. So there you go. The nuclear button has been pressed. The gloves are off, just like that altercation in Nottingham Cottage when William gave Harry a right hook and sent him flying to the floor. Once again, the pugilistic Prince of Wales is not pulling his punches and demonstrating that not only can he defend himself against Harry's attacks, but he can give as good as he gets. Now, when William becomes king, life is going to be a nightmare for Harry. It's going to be unbearable. Because King William could well remove the HRH and Sussex titles. And the bottom line is that he will ultimately, it is the power struggle that they've been fighting all their lives as brothers. And it will be over when William accedes to the throne and he rules over the entire United Kingdom and Commonwealth. Harry is going to hate it. He'll be even more bitter. He will be the least happy millionaire times 100. Humpy dumpy dumpy dump. Poor Prince Harry, the world's least happy millionaire. And when Princess Catherine is crowned queen, I suspect that the hyper-competitive and naturally jealous Meghan Markle will probably self-combust. When that crown goes on Catherine's head, Meghan will simply evaporate. She will just become some kind of metaphysical force. She will dissolve into the atmosphere. The crown goes on the head and Meghan Markle's like, "Oh, my husband ate." That's what's going to happen. Just like when you hold garlic or a crucifix near a witch. It'll be no different. Meghan will self-combust. She pretends to be on good terms with Princess Catherine. She's like, "Princess Catherine is my friend. I like Princess Catherine. Upon her, I wish no harm." So that's the funny thing. Harry knows that the battle will be lost because William's going to become king. Catherine, his wife, will be queen. And the Sussexes will absolutely hate it because at that point, they will be completely and utterly irrelevant. So let's get to this trip that William has had to the Army Air Corps, the AAC. He looked fantastic in his military fatigues because he's a good-looking guy. He's lean. He's got a body mass index to dream of. He's strong mentally and physically. I love Prince William. He might be the best king we've ever had since Henry VIII, who won a lot of wars, including against France. La belle France, comment ça va? Nous marchons aujourd'hui beaucoup d'histoires. Nous pouvons discuter. Bien sûr. Pourquoi pas? Pas moi. Le plat pays qui est le mien. Folks, so here's the thing, right? I broke out into French. I believe I'm coming down with something. It's a terrible symptom. I'm sweating. I've got fever symptoms and I'm exploding with French. So there we go. Look, so this was young William's first visit as Colonel-in-Chief of the AAC, a role previously held by King Charles. And the funny thing is that Harry feels that the whole military story should be his. Harry's the military guy. Harry's the war hero. Why is he the war hero exactly? Because he took 2 brief holidays to Afghanistan in which he was a passenger in a helicopter that allegedly took down 25 Taliban. Something that Harry insisted on putting in his book, which endangered himself, his family, and his former military colleagues. What a prize royal numpty he is. So anyway, there you go. He's a war hero, apparently. So he thinks that all this military stuff should be his. He's the one that should be Colonel-in-Chief of the AAC. The only thing he's Colonel-in-Chief of is the swimming pool at their Montecito mansion that he's got to clean every day. He is the Colonel-in-Chief of the garbage at the mansion that he's got to take out of the house every night. He's the Colonel-in-Chief of making beds. He's the Colonel-in-Chief of doing the washing up. He's the Colonel-in-Chief of carrying Meghan's bags when she makes a public appearance. That's all he is now. He is the bag carrier in chief to the ultimate bag, Meghan Markle. Ooh, Harry H., my husband. So it's truly shocking that he thinks that he should still be the main military guy. He's the one that should be Colonel-in-Chief of the AAC, the Army Air Corps. But the bottom line, I'm afraid, Harry, is you're going to have to lie in that bed, right? What is it? You've made your bed. It's what my mother used to say to me. My mother doesn't pull any punches, let me tell you, just like Prince William. Mrs. Dolan Senior, though not that senior, she looks about 30. And Mrs. Dolan said, you've made your bed, you're going to have to lie in it. And that's the kind of tough love that made me the man I am today, the dropper of royal truth bombs and a man at the zenith of a global media revolution, which would be of nothing without you, because we're doing this together. This show doesn't belong to me. It belongs to us. It is our show. So here we go. Harry thinks that he should be Mr. Military. But I'm sorry, Harry. You gave all of that up with your shocking betrayal. Life is about consequences. You know, the things that you do will come back and they will bite you on the posterior. That's what they will. That is life, is that you make certain decisions and they have consequences. And spoiled Prince Harry is beginning to realize that. He is becoming acquainted with reality. And the reality is that he made a disastrous decision to marry Meghan Markle. She turned him against his family and his country. He's now bored out of his tears in Montecito. He's miserable. He hates it there. I love California. The Mark Dolan Show is going to California at the beginning of June. Live videos every day. By the way, folks, let me tell you some parish news. This is the last Mark Dolan Show until Monday. That's right. Monday, the 9th of June is the next Mark Dolan Show, unless there is breaking news. Remember, 4:45 p.m. daily, apart from this coming Saturday and Sunday, 4:45 p.m. UK, 8:45 a.m. US West Coast, 11:45 a.m. US East Coast, and late night or early morning down under. So the bottom line is that Harry thinks that he should have this military stuff. He gave it all up. He walked away from the royal family's royal duties, attacked the family, and that's why he is now empty-handed. And it's hilarious that William, who doesn't have the military CV that Harry has, is now in those military fatigues. He's got the medals, which go right across and then down and up again. And that is sweet revenge. And can you imagine how good William feels when he puts on that venerated uniform onto his incredibly toned and muscular, lean body first thing in the morning? And he puts on that regalia. And young Catherine, she's like, darling, may I adjust your tie? And she comes and she adjusts the tie. And he's like, thank you, my love. No, I shouldn't say my love, because that is Harry's, that's how he calls Meghan. Thank you, my love. Thank you. No, William will be like, thank you, darling. Thank you, darling, for adjusting my tie. Because they're the dream couple. And at some point, they're going to be king and queen. Harry's going to hate it. He'll be boiling with rage because, of course, William's military honours will go through the roof once he becomes king, because the king is in charge of all military matters, which is why I think when he becomes king, I think a couple of invasions wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. I think it would boost Britain's self-confidence. We're a little down in the dumps at the moment. And I think we could do with a very upbeat foreign invasion. I'm not talking about the Vladimir Putin unjustified stuff. I would just take back some treasure from the past, from our colonial era. Let's just get out a map of the colonial era and choose some of our favourite spots. Why would that be so wrong? Obviously, we'd take back France, but that's like a warm-up. That's a warm-up for the soldiers before we return to the glorious British Empire led by King William. I want William to put the British Empire back together for only one reason, because, by the way, the British Empire, there were many terrible, evil crimes in the British Empire, which are devastating and horrific. Okay? British Empire, some really great stuff. My goodness. The Industrial Revolution, infrastructure, representative democracy, free press, all those values that were exported around the world. Marvellous, marvellous. Bad things too. Many bad crimes of the past. So, that's the whole point about, like anything in history, it's like like William said at the beginning of this video, it's a mixed bag. But the only reason why I want William to reassemble the British Empire is to annoy Harry and Meghan. That's the only reason. That's all I want out of life, generally, is to annoy Harry and Meghan. And I just think it would be very annoying for Harry if his brother William was the commander-in-chief of the British Empire. Wouldn't that be nice? I jest, of course, but you get my point. So the bottom line is that this visit by William to this military base looked at how soldiers are adapting to new capabilities of the recently acquired Apache AH-640E helicopter. I can't lie, I'm not the biggest fan of helicopters. I think they're great in war. Would you go into a helicopter recreationally? I would not. I'm going to be going to New York. I'll be visiting New York. New York City blues. The more that you win, the more that you lose. Oh, before your time. I haven't heard that song in years, which is why I slightly lost the lyric there. Here's the thing. New York. I'll be going to the Big Apple. Would I take a helicopter ride in New York City for the Mark Dolan show? Good luck with that. It ain't going to happen, baby. Because I just think that helicopters are asking for trouble, because you just got this one blinking propeller blade, haven't you? When that goes down, what do you do then? Airplanes have a couple of engines. That's what I like. It's like my body with two rather magnificent kidneys. I'm not messing around. I've got strong Irish kidneys as well. They are bulletproof, let me tell you. They would survive the apocalypse. So, I don't like helicopters, but let me tell you that helicopters are Harry's thing, and it's so funny that William is now the chief helicopter figurehead. Perfect sweet revenge for that miserable so-and-so in Montecito. William looked at military planning. He was in the executive tent where he examined maps, technologies for tracking live locations of soldiers taking part in NATO training in Norway. This could all be Harry's, but he gave it up. Decisions have consequences. Now, here's the other thing, and I've been thinking about this a lot. Harry's biggest problem is as follows. Because he's got a few quid in the bank. I mean, I've said in previous videos, he is flat broke. He is, in Californian terms, in Hollywood elite terms, the guy is broke and he's got no job and no income now. So I think they will be in trouble. They're on borrowed time. But his biggest problem is his attitude. Harry's got a bad attitude. He's got what the Americans call a BA. That is the bad attitude. And one thing that sort of centers around his bad attitude is his relationship with William. And he's had a bad attitude with William, a BA, since, wait for it, day one. Harry's had a bad attitude since day one. Tag 1, jour 1. And he's got a chip on his shoulder. Do you know something, Harry? Give it up. Because William's going to be king. He's got a nicer wife who's a much kinder, more empathetic and graceful and dignified human being. William made great choices. You didn't. Give it up. Because Harry's been, I mean, listen to this, right? In his book, he talked about the dynamic of being the younger sibling. He said, I was brought into the world in case something happened to Willie. Yes, you were. Yes, you were. SHIT happens, my friend. Okay? Because that's actually what families are. Because in olden times, and you'll know this, the Mark Dolan show, army, my soldiers, who are all heroic, you're all heroic. In olden times, people had big families because life expectancy was low, and tragically, there was a lot of loss of life in childbirth. We didn't have the amazing maternity services back in the day that we have now. By the way, we'll be having another look at Meghan's outrageous dance twerking video before the end of today's show. But in the old days, your great-grandfather, your great-grandmother, and beyond that, they had lots of kids because they knew that not all those kids would make it. And do you know something? In olden times, people were not sentimental about it. They rolled their sleeves up and they got on with it. And do you know what they did, those people? Your great-great-grandparents and mine? Well, they fought for our freedom that we now enjoy in 2 world wars. And what they also did is they built the world. Our ancestors over the last 400 to 500 years built the world. And in the United States, you've got Americans watching this show now whose great-grandparents, great-great-grandparents built America, which is the most successful country in the history of planet Earth. So, but our great-great-great-grandparents, to whom we're not worthy, we are not worthy. What do we do now? What is our contribution? Sit around on TikTok watching videos of people falling over and slipping on like a banana skin. Do that for 12 hours a day. Meanwhile, our ancestors built the world. And, you had relatives of ours, all of ours. I mean, I'm Irish, so the Irish built part of the project of building London. Laying roads, erecting skyscrapers, hanging off scaffolding at 1,000 feet, risking life and limb. There was no health and safety in the 1900s and the 1800s. Do me a favor. People had grit. They were tough. They were brave. And so this is the point, is that back in the day, people had lots of kids because they knew that the kids wouldn't make it. And also they needed lots of kids who could then contribute and then look after the elders later in life, because we didn't have pensions, we didn't have social security, we didn't have the welfare state, which is a great thing to have, but which is being abused and which is being capitalized away. It used to be a net that you fall into. Now it's a way of life for too many people. It is. It is. Some people need it. That's the point. But it's the others who don't, who are exploiting the system, and it creates, well, what does it create? Budget deficits and bankruptcy for the West. We're in trouble, folks. But that's another show. So the bottom line is that our elders had lots of kids because they knew that, you know, the hit rate wasn't going to be great and they needed a big family to look after themselves. The Irish, many families, Irish families, 10, 15, 20 kids even. And do you know what, Harry? You were brought into this world if something happened to William. Yes, you were. Yes, you were. Get over it. Drink it up, big guy. Move on, because you have a BA. You have a bad attitude. And I can speak, I'm the youngest of four, so I'm not even the spare. I'm the spare. I'm the third in spare line to the throne. I'm the sparemeister. I'm the sparemeister general, is what I am. I'm the king of the spares. Because I'm number 4 in the queue for the glorious mantle of the Dolan legacy, which will go to my eldest sibling, who will treasure it. And I'll be there 4th in line to the throne. I'm going to get on with it. I accept. I'm not the heir to the Dolan majesty. Right? My eldest sibling will get it, then the next one, and then eventually it could fall to me. And I accept that because I don't have a bad attitude. I don't have a BA, because you know what I do? We know I'm not perfect. It's got to be perfect. I'm far from perfect. In fact, I am majestically imperfect. But one thing I accept is I look at the cards that have been dealt to me and I accept those cards, folks. That's what I do. And I think that's what you do too. It's what most normal people do that don't have a bad attitude. So he goes, I was brought into the world in case something happened to Willie. By the way, can you not call him Willie? Because, first of all, in the United Kingdom, that's a euphemism for the male appendage, the Willy Winkle, the John Thomas, the Schlong. I don't think we'll pursue a stream of conscious riff on other euphemisms for the male appendage, but you get my drift. The Willy Winkle, it's an intimate part of the male anatomy, and therefore it's inappropriate for him to call his brother William Willie. His brother's name is William. He's going to be king. You don't call someone that's going to be king Willie. It's contemptuous. It's the same contempt that Meghan dishes out to Prince Harry by calling him H, my husband. So disgusting that he calls him Willie. He'll never be called Willie on my watch. He will be William, because that is his name. And he reflects on the heir-spare relationship. He said, I was the shadow, the support, the plan B. Well, by the way, can I just say that if you had half a personality, you would not be the shadow. By the way, I was the shadow. What, are you a Marvel character now? Have you got a cape? Are you best mates with Batman and Spider-Man and Cat Lady? Cat Lady? Cat Lady? Are you serious? I was the shadow. I mean, the biggest problem with this guy, he spends far too much time thinking about himself. That's all he does, isn't he? He sits around thinking about himself the whole time. He said, I was the shadow, the support, the plan B. Well, I'll be honest with you, Harry. You wouldn't be the shadow if you had a personality, if you were a decent guy with a good attitude. You would actually be something of a rock star, because being the youngest is actually it's a gift in many ways. You're often more spoiled because when you're the youngest, you'll always be more cute because you're always the baby. I mean, I'm a grown middle-aged man, fully grown, fully middle-aged, fully a man. But I'm still the baby. You know, my family, I'm the baby because I'm the 4th in line. So I'll always be quite sweet compared to the others who are older. They're older. They've got more miles on the clock. You know what I mean? They're a bit grizzled. They're a little rough around the edges. Life has been unkind to my older siblings and old now. Old and tired and grey. Meanwhile, I am sprightly and I drink from the elixir of youth. Do you know where I get that from? I get that from doing this show with you. This is what gives me energy. This keeps me young. You are making me quite immortal. NGL, that means not going to lie. It's the first letter of each word. One after the other. It's cool and it saves time. So, I jest. My siblings are absolute babes. So, the point, and that's the point, right? I like my siblings. We have an incredible relationship. We love each other and we like each other and we're nice to each other. And I don't give them creepy nicknames like Willie. Even the sister who has masculine qualities. She's very male in many ways and quite hirsute. A lot of facial hair, deep voice, and very swollen adenoids. My sister is masculine in the extreme, but she's a good person. Her heart's in the right place. And by God, has she got muscle mass? The abs on that thing and the biceps defies biology. Well done. So Harry, you are the spare. Get over it. And it's very interesting because, you know, this little fight between Harry and William demonstrates that William's not going down without a fight, right? William's not able to directly respond to anything that Harry says or does. But what he'll do is he'll do it in the most subtle way. And that's what's happened with this chat with the soldier saying some of your family members won't want to see you. That was a dry humor. He was joking. It was humorous. But it was also a dig. It was a statement. It was clear messaging to his want-away brother. And so well done him. And I think that life, as I said, is going to be very uncomfortable for this boy. And it's funny because, you know, Harry still thinks he's going to make up with William. Let me know in the comments, do you think that William should ever forgive Harry? Are there any grounds for William forgiving Harry? Let me know. If he apologized, if he said, I'm so sorry, if it was a big mea culpa, would that wash with you? I don't think it's going to happen because in his book, Spare, the worst attacks were on his brother, William. He said, my dear brother, my arch nemesis, how did we come to this? How dare you call your own brother your arch nemesis with all of the foes that there are in the world? Your own brother, and the only person that, in terms of blood, connects you to your late mother, Diana, the Princess of Wales, the only human being on the planet that shares the same DNA footprint with, you know, half of Diana's DNA is his brother William. And he calls Diana's firstborn son the arch nemesis. That's obscene. That is criminal. We know about the fight they had in where were they? It happened in actually I need to double check. Nottingham Cottage. That's right, Notcott as they call it. That's when William lost his temper and gave him a right hook. I don't condone violence, but I'm sympathetic to how poor old William felt. So that was a big thing, right? He put that in the book. So you're never making up with William if you put that in the book. Also in Spare, he said that at Eton, Harry claims, right, in the book Spare, Harry claims that at Eton, the elite private school to which they were both sent, they're both educated at Eton, an elite private school education. By the way, I think that King Charles should ask for his money back because Harry is as thick as two short planks. Do you not think? I should say so. I should cocoa. He is a couple of eggs short of a chicken barn. During their time at Eton, Harry claims that William instructed him to pretend they didn't know each other, leaving Harry feeling isolated. If your brother or sister goes to the same school as you, you don't mix. That's normal because you try to have your own identity and your independence. Leave your brother alone. Get on with it. Make your own friends. Don't be hang on his coattails. Going to high school is a moment where you have to step up and be a mature individual. It's uncomfortable at the first, and you get to know people, you deal with bullies. That's life, Harry. Why has William, or Willie as you love to call him, got to wipe your backside? He doesn't have to wipe your backside or any other part of your rather depressed, miserable, Humpty Dumpty anatomy. He called William's hair loss alarming and said his resemblance to their mother, Princess Diana, had faded. He said, I looked at Willie, really looked at him, perhaps for the first time since we were little. His baldness was alarming and more advanced than mine. He also said his resemblance to our mother had faded. He alleges that William was tipsy on rum hours before his wedding to Kate Middleton. How dare, by the way, Catherine, the word Kate is banned. He alleges that William was tipsy on rum hours before his wedding to Catherine. Well, why wouldn't the groom have a couple of drinks, a couple of sharpeners? And he's entitled to have a rum to celebrate his nuptials with Catherine. If I was Harry and I was preparing to marry Meghan, I'd have 11 bottles of bourbon just to forget what I'm about to do to myself. I don't have a problem with a couple of tipples just before you tie the knot. Tipples before you tie the knot. Also, Harry claims that William and Catherine were responsible for his outrageous dictator uniform that he wore to a party in 2005. Harry claimed he consulted his brother. He said, I phoned Willie and Kate, asked what they thought, go for the military uniform, they said. Right, A, I don't believe a word this guy says. And B, throwing your brother and your sister-in-law under the bus. Harry says his role as best man at William's wedding was a barefaced lie, as he did not deliver the traditional speech, and the role was more ceremonial. I should hope so. He made you best man out of politeness, but he didn't want you waffling on with the speech, moaning about climate change and about, I don't know, division or something that you always do at Invictus, highly political. He didn't want a miserable political rant, and he didn't want to hear a multimillionaire aristocrat moaning about how terrible his life is on his wedding day. He wanted to have a good time and enjoy himself, H-bomb. Also, Harry mentions that William expressed early concerns about his relationship with Meghan, suggesting that their union would be really hard for Harry. Well, what happened? Should have listened to him, big guy. It goes on and on and on. So there is so much material here. And what it boils down to is Team Sussex and Team Wales. And once again, a massive, massive twist in the tail from Prince William there. A big plus for Team Wales. Well done, Prince William. You keep fighting the fight. Before we go, can I just tell you that Meghan has once again posted intimate family images to celebrate Lily's birthday, claiming that she's worried about privacy, that she doesn't want her kids on social media, that it's very dangerous, etc. She lives on social media and puts her kids on social media non-stop. So Meghan Markle clearly watches the Mark Dolan show, because in those intimate photographs, it was Meghan and it was Lily. And I had a simple question. Where's Harry? Where's Harry? Where is Harry? Well, Meghan's been watching the show because now she comes in with a flurry of pictures where Harry, who is the spare in his own marriage, gets to appear in a little picture with Lily. Well done, everyone. Oh, little Lily. And it's wild. And what it tells me is that the two of them are digging in and they are doubling down when it comes to their obscene, shocking dance video on the eve of the birth of Lily. Let's revisit that video and my reaction in yesterday's show. Okay, so here we are. We're in the hospital room. She's supposed to be expecting a baby, but she's on her feet. By the way, yes, it's a maternity dress, but it looks like evening wear. Is she going out afterwards? Now, look, she's jiggling around. I don't think that's safe for the baby. This is embarrassing. And now look at this fool. I mean, seriously, Harry, have you no dignity? Now she's cradling the baby. Harry, can you please go away? This is truly embarrassing. You are the son of the King of the United Kingdom. Thousands of years of British tradition going down the toilet thanks to your ego and that of your outrageous wife. Look at this now. Meghan, what on earth are you doing? You're endangering the baby. This is reckless. And it's also unclassy. It's cheap. It's trashy. I'm so sorry. It's trashy. Please. Do you know what really bothers me? This looks rehearsed. They've actually practiced this because neither of them have jobs, let's not forget. What are you doing? The idea that we call this pair the Duke and Duchess of anything. They are the Duke and Duchess of embarrassment. I mean, look, Harry, all dignity is gone. What does William think when he watches his brother? Please, no! That's obscene. Absolutely shocking stuff. This couple, no shame. Folks, it's been great to talk. Let me tell you that the next Mark Dolan show is going to be Monday, the June the 9th. Monday, the June the 9th. And but if there's breaking news, then keep an eye on your YouTube. The best thing you can do, please like the video. It really helps me get the channel out to more people. Please subscribe if you can. And hit the notification reminder bell, because if an emergency video happens, if there's breaking news, I'll jump on my camera phone and I'll get my thoughts to you. But if they don't have breaking news, then the next Mark Dolan show is Monday, June the 9th, 4:45 p.m. UK time every day, 8:45 US West Coast AM, 11:45 a.m. US East Coast, and early hours or late night down under. Folks, loving this journey. Get your comments in. Can't wait to hear what you got to say. I'll see you Monday. Can't wait. Stay awesome. Big love.